So hello there and welcome back to Strathpeffer Junction. Today's video is going to be a kind of quick maker project. What I've wanted to do for quite some time is to make a Strathpeffer Junction station sign featuring the old British Rail arrows design and obviously the Strathpeffer Junction name as well. And in the last video where I was talking about the layout cards, the magnets and stickers that I put together, and I've been sending them all around the globe now, I thought, well, it'd be quite nice to balance out the notice board that I featured in that with a station sign. So how do we think about it? And I do have a small CNC router, and I've got a jigsaw and a scroll saw and various other things from my kind of woodworking past. But a lot of that takes a lot of time to set up. And when I was browsing the website, or the internet rather, I came across the website of scalemodelscenery.co.uk. And before I go any further, they haven't sponsored this video. I bought this full price, so this is just because I like this. But anyway, they do a kit for making your own station sign. You punch in the letters that you need for the sign onto their website. They laser cut it onto, I think it's probably laser MDF or something like that, laser card, laser something. And it arrives pre-made and you just have to paint it and stick it together. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Okay, so before I get out all the paints and so on, I'm going to have a look at what we get in the pack. So it's the instructions on the front and inside is the contents, obviously. So we'll just open this up anyway and have a little look at what it is. Right. So let's just pop the crinkly noisy bit to one side. Okay, so we've got the instructions. And they're talking about wood glue or similar to glue it down, primer, and then the colours that you need for it. And first of all, I can smell that laser cut wood smell. It's really pungent. But anyway, right, so we've got all of the characters here. We've got the dot for the eye, and I shall check everything is there in due course. And we have here the British Rail arrows, the unmistakable, unmissable, you can spot them anywhere, British Rail sign. So you also, they leave in this cut out arrow as well. So I guess you could either use the arrows like that, superimposed, or you could colour in this particular one, which is what I'm going to do, and then stick it over the top. But it's actually quite nice because I think what I'll maybe do is colour the silver or another colour anyway, and I can use it on something else. But we'll pop that to one side. Okay, so before I head up to the workshop to start undercoating, I just wanted to mention that the board here has the station name stenciled onto it, which is ideal for helping you to arrange and line up all the letters correctly. The one thing is, of course, if you do undercoat and then top coat it, you're not going to necessarily see where the stencil outlines are. So I think what I'll probably do is either get a little bit of tape or maybe some hot glue or a bit of Maskol or something like that, which I can pop into these areas here just to keep the paint off the actual board itself, so that when I come to stick the letters down with wood glue, that it'll be board on board rather than paint on paint, and that should help them stick a little bit better. And I'll probably do the same for up here as well. But anyway, we'll look at all of that over in the workshop in just a minute. Okay, now just simply because it's a bit warmer in here than it is up at the workshop, I'm just going to quickly talk about the paint. Now, I've ordered white, black, which is actually up at the workshop just now, and blue spray paint. And the reason I'm going to use spray paint is it gives a lovely uniform finish. I could use, acrylic brush paints or stuff like that, but you often see the brush marks. Anyway, I'm going to go with spray paint. And what I've gone for anyway on this one is a blue colour. And this is about the closest blue that I could get to the Scot Rail blue. So what I'd like to do on this particular one anyway is to go for a blue sign here, which is more like the old Scot Rail sectorial regions of British Rail, rather than the red, which was more typical with the British Rail signs down south. So I'm going to go for a true Scot Rail blue just to match the period, the era for Strathpeffer Junction. But anyway, all that being said, let's head up to the workshop now to have a look at the priming and then the top coats. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. Just before we went up to the workshop, I just wanted to double check all the letters were here, and they are here, and we've also got that little insert as well, so we're all good to go. Okay, so we're back at the table again. A slightly different angle from my older videos once again. Partly because I wanted to try something different, and secondly because we've got some unseasonably sunny weather today up in Scotland, and there's a lot of sun coming in. The shadows are crazy, but anyway, hopefully you can see what I'm getting up to. So we've got the spray painted characters here, and what I'm going to do is just carefully separate them from the hot glue, pop them to one side, and then we'll move on to assembling everything and gluing. One thing just to mention, I probably used a little bit too much hot glue, and here's a big blob here. I've taken one off already, and it stuck a little bit too well to some of the characters. So if you do go down the hot glue route, I would recommend just a tiny wee blob. Otherwise, you can get a wee bit of separation in the MDF when you're pulling things apart. But anyway, you know, live and learn. And just quickly check that we haven't got any stuck on before popping this onto the firewood pile. All right, so what I'm going to use for this is just wood glue. I've got this Tight Bond, which I used to use for joinery, but it's absolutely fine for this. Any wood glue anyway will be fine. And I'm going to dispense a bit into this wee dish here and use a couple of fairly old brushes just to spread it about so that it's not too messy, or at least that's the hope. So let's get some glue in this. There we go, excellent. Right, so thick brush to start off with, I think, and you remember that I left the back of the double arrows unpainted just to help the glue adhere to the wood there, and we've left this little part here bare as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll glue up on here first, and then I'll glue up in these little parts here and stick it all together and make sure, yeah, the arrows are the right way around. Okay, so we've got the double arrows glued in place now. I've lined it up along the sides. One thing to mention with most wood glues, just like a little white glue, if you do get a wee bit of spillage anywhere, just a little damp cloth around the sides or whatever, just to clear it up before it sets is all you need to do. But what we need to do anyway for this one now is just apply a little bit of weight so that every bit gets stuck down well. This particular glue is a fairly fast setting glue. I think it's about 20 minutes or something like that. So we'll bring in a wee bit of weight, and we'll apply that to the top here. And we'll come back in about 20 minutes time to crack on with the lettering. Okay, so some more time has passed and we can remove the weighty book. And if you haven't got this, actually, it's a great read, so I do recommend it. All right, pop that to one side. Okay, so there we are. Everything is nicely glued. No overspill or anything like that. There was a tiny bit there, actually. I can clean that up, that's no problem at all. Right, okay, so what we're going to move on to now is getting these letters stuck onto here. So we're going to get a wee bit more of the glue and pop that into here. Now you might want to use glue that takes a while to set up for the letters, just so that you've got time to rearrange things. There should be sufficient time with this glue here to be able to do that. But I think what we'll do is we'll start along the top line and then we'll move on to the bottom line as well. So we'll go for the S and slightly smaller brush this time. And I'm just gonna brush the back of it here with glue. There we go. And I'll put a coat of glue on there as well, so there's glue on both sides. Because I've left some of the MDF visible here, it will tend to soak up the glue. So we shall do that. And as before, if you have a little damp rag on standby, then any glue that splurts out the side, you can just wipe that up. I sometimes find as well, actually, a little cotton bud with the end just squashed in slightly and dampened with a wee bit of water just to go around the sides. That can be a really good way of doing that. So anyway, enough talking. I'm going to get on with this before this glue dries and get the top layer progressed anyway. We can have a look at that and then I'll move on to the second layer. Now, just as we're sticking this on, as I mentioned before, there is the laser cut outline on this particular scale model scenery kit, which is really helpful. just for getting things lined up. It's perhaps a tad like a fraction of a millimetre too big, so you can just see a slight shadow around the side, but hey, it's not a big deal and things are lining up fine. So I'm going to crack on now anyway and get the T of Strathpeffer Junction completed, and we'll come back hopefully when I've reached the R at the far side. Okay, great, so more time has passed, so we'll just move this out of the way. Hopefully more glue has dried as well. Yep, and there we have it. Excellent. Strathpeffer Junction. We've got a sign. So what I'm going to do now that everything has dried, I'm going to go back up to the workshop and give it a coat of a clear coat, so like a clear varnish, a gloss varnish, just to tie everything in together. I'll give it a wee dust down first, just to get some of the little marks off. I'll away and do that, I'll let it dry overnight, and we'll pop back tomorrow to see the finished result. Okay, so welcome back. It is the next day. It's another very sunny day. As you can see from the lighting, it's absolute nightmare trying to avoid shadows with the sun streaming in through the windows over there. But anyway, the gloss varnish, 2 coats in the end that I sprayed last night. It's dried now, and the sign has come out really nicely. I don't know how well it's actually going to come out just because of the shadows. And we've got a wee cat hair there, which we'll just whip off there. But no, it's come out really nicely. I think the gloss varnish has made a real difference there. It's really removed the kind of wood effect or the wood sort of finish, and it's really resulted in a really nice finish. So no, big thumbs up. It's a fairly easy kit to make, a wee bit fiddly at times, but no, it certainly saves you trying to cut out all the lettering yourself with a scroll saw or whatever you might use. Okay, so thanks very much for watching this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Not particularly detailed, not particularly complex, off-the-shelf product, but it's just a little thing to keep the channel going. I'll be back soon with a few more Strath Shorts videos where I'll be looking at a few technical things at the desk in just a kind of short format. But for now, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon, not such a long delay. And if you have liked this, please subscribe, like, all the rest, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheerio for now, bye-bye.